Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic and a medium. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to be talking politics today. And just as an aside, if I look hot, it's because, well, okay, right. So if I look like I'm sweaty, I am, because it is hotter down here in the South than some Republicans serving free lunch at a public school. Take that for what you want. So we're going to talk today about the fact that an eensy-beensy little bit of cocaine was found in the White House. Now, I know you guys have heard all about it. You probably, a lot of other psychics have read about it. Maybe you've read the news, and you are correct when you say it is a nothing taco. There's nothing in this taco. There's no good lettuce or tomato or jalapenos or guacamole. There's just nothing in this taco. It's bland, y'all. So here's the thing I need to talk about, because I don't know about you, but so what? We know that it's not hunters. We know that it's not the Biden families, because they weren't there. They literally weren't physically on the property. But don't you want to know? I mean, don't inquiring minds want to know how it got there? Really? A lot of people are saying, now I'm square, I'm a square person, whatever that means. I've never done cocaine. I've never done that kind of drugs. Y'all know what my drugs are: chocolate and cheese. Anyway, and I'm going to be honest with you. Would I accidentally leave my chocolate behind when I put my cell phone down because I was going to take a White House tour? No, I would not. That stuff would be melting in my pocket. Okay, so the point is that people that do these types of things say they would never, ever pull out their stash and leave it behind. You know, like maybe if there was a drug dog, sniffing dog or something, maybe. But there's no indication. No one's talked about, no reports have been of major having been, repurposed as a drug sniffing dog or any drug sniffing dog. So I'm just saying, point number one, no one would probably most likely leave it behind. That is not an obvious scenario. When I go into the energy, because I'm psychic and I can, when I go into the energy, this is what I see immediately. I see I don't know. It's like they're showing me as if I'm a fly on the wall, right? And I'm seeing the hand. I'm seeing the hand put, right. So they're showing me a sleeve, right? And then pulling it out of the sleeve and placing it there in a very smooth motion. This is somebody who's done this many times. This is not somebody that they hired off the street to say, go, whatever, do this. No, this is somebody that knows what the guides would be calling sleight of hand. That way that you would be able to pull something out with seemingly unnoticed. Magic. People that do magic tricks do this all the time, right? Pull something out of thin air. But in reality, we know that it's tucked behind, their shirt or their sleeve or something like that. So I want to know, like inquiring minds, we should all be wanting to know, well, first of all, who did this? Second of all, how did they get in? Because if they got in with the purpose of doing this, either A, our Secret Service or the people that guard that area, they're either on the take or they're inept. Either way, they need to go. Like, you need to go, right? So that's a problem. The other problem is maybe we need better security cameras, better placed security cameras. Again, it's this sense that the Democrats often, right? So the guides are reminding me that if you don't think like a criminal, if you're not a criminal, you don't think like a criminal. It would never occur to you, right, to get a locking mailbox or whatever. It just wouldn't occur to you, because you would never think of going through someone's mail, right? So we don't think like criminals. That's why we have to read articles and be notified by our friends. And then we're like, oh, I guess I should do that, right? So this is the problem with the Democrats. They still have this sort of idea of seeing the best in everybody, when in reality, that's a great thing to do. except for when the president of the United States lives a couple of 100 yards away from that location. If they can put an illicit drug there, what else can they put there, right? What are we scanning for? What are we checking for when people go into the White House? So to me, this is a big problem, and it's not right. I'll break it down for you guys. So the guides just said I need to break it down. So here's the thing. The Republicans, okay, so this was a plant. We know this was a plant. This is what my guides are saying. I went straight into why or whatever, but we can't overlook that even though I called this a nothing taco, and you know that taco had no cheese, right? But anyway, even though I'm calling it a nothing taco, the Republicans will run with this because it's easy fodder. It's easy meat for their constituents who don't care about the facts. They've never cared about the facts. All they care about is more corroborating evidence to an idea they already have formed. They've already bought into the narrative that Hunter is a drug user and a loser or whatever, and they've already bought into the narrative, whatever it is, of Biden and his family. Now all they need is more evidence to support their idea. So on one hand, this was a gimme. This was an easy thing for them to do. It doesn't matter if the media leaves it behind. It doesn't matter, you guys. We need to understand this. It's not about the media. It's not about you or me. It's about those talking heads, those podcasts, basically the ones that took over for Rush Limbaugh, who are just going to spout this and then grift off of it. The MAGAs. This is feeding their already set in stone ideas. Okay, so that is important. We should not overlook that. It's going to make it harder for us to do our job. If the Democrats don't do a little bit better job of preventing this stuff, it's almost like we're too easy to set up, right? And hopefully they'll learn from this and they will scrub the White House. They'll scrub the personnel in every direction. I mean, the kitchen staff, the cleaning staff, the groundskeepers, the various levels of police, the Secret Service. Everybody needs to be scrubbed. I'm not kidding you guys. And this is something the Democrats are loath to do because we're the party of give people a second chance. But I'm telling you, there's people planted in there that mean to do the Bidens harm, that mean to harm their reputation. And we need to find out who they are. We need to get rid of them. And that's just the way it is. Luckily, I think Biden, I did a video where I said that Biden was mad. He's angry. He's some kind of incensed. He's incensed that they're going after his son. He's incensed that he's doing big things. He's doing important things. And yet he keeps missing these little details that then become sort of irritations that take him away from doing the big things, right? He's sort of looking out here. He's not watching the little things down below. And it's the little things down below that are tripping him up. He's got to get a better grip on it. He either needs to assign somebody to really pay attention to this stuff, or he needs to pay attention to it because it's not going to end. They're going to continue, jabbing at him, death by 1,000 cuts. It's not going to be a big thing. It's going to be a lot of little things. Okay, so now let's get back to whoever put this in there, because I was just at Target sweating my bazookas off. And the guides told me right next to the crock pots, which I wasn't shopping for crock pots. But anyway, that doesn't matter. The guides told me wigs, cross-dressing. And then they showed me Rudy Giuliani. Now, I'm not telling you the Rudy Giuliani planted this. I'm not saying that. Y'all got to stay with me. Pay attention. Stop doing the dishes. Pay attention for a minute. Rudy Giuliani, they found wigs in Rudy Giuliani, one of his searches. And funnily enough, they found disguises and wigs in Prigozhin, the military, mob leader of one of Putin's mercenary groups. These people apparently find it necessary to dress up on occasion. Now, stay with me. It is also my understanding from my spirit guides that the DC pipe bomber was dressed up like that to throw everybody off. There was actually padding under the pants. The shoes were worn specifically. The gait, the walking style was imitated. Everything was done to throw off those people who could look at that person and say, that is a female. Okay. Do you see a theme here? Because I'm starting to see a theme here. Let's go to the cocaine drop off, the plant. When I'm seeing that hand and I'm seeing that, it's so weird. I'm seeing that hand grab the cocaine out of the sleeve. And here's what's tripping me out, you guys. This is why I'm doing the video, because I'm hoping they'll tell me. If I can just sit down and talk to them and not talk to them while I'm at Target, maybe they'll tell me. So here's what's weird. That energy that planted the cocaine, I'm getting male, female, which is when they went and told me that Rudy Giuliani wore wigs for some reason. I mean, I'm not talking about toupees here, y'all. So I'm wondering if the person who planted the cocaine was either a male dressed like a female or a female dressed like a male, to further complicate things, to further confuse things. And this is just for entertainment purposes only, right? I might be all kind of wrong, but the Susan part of this, which is, the 40% that is Susan, is that Virgo, right? Connecting the dots, like, oh, these people have a tendency to want to be in costume, or you might even say drag. They want to hide their identity. And here we have the guides when they tell me, when they can't say female or male, it's a point they're trying to make. This person is both, or being encompassing both energies. Okay. So I feel like, let me ask them. I mean, wouldn't it be interesting that if this were really and truly a transgender person who did this? I mean, everything the Republicans cry about, they're doing their own selves. We know that with Trump. Every statement is an omission of guilt, is an admission of guilt. Everything he says turns out to be something he's doing. And the Republican Party does the same thing. So let me just ask, let me see if I can suss this out. Was the person who put the cocaine, planted the cocaine on the surface, and I don't know what kind, I don't know if it's a cubby, I'm not sure. They are showing me, okay, I'm going to go out on a limb here and just tell y'all what I'm getting, and I may be wrong. I may be translating this or understanding this wrong, but I know from doing readings and doing this work, you should just say the data. Don't try to make sense of it, because it's not going to make sense, right? Just say the data. The data is, I see the sleeve. It looks like dress clothes or some sort of either a uniform or dress clothes. It's not tourist. It's not a tourist looking sleeve. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Y'all have to stop telling me all that. I haven't even finished with the one thing. That is crazy. Okay. They showed me a whole nother thing. Hold on. I have to finish one thing at a time, y'all, for real. Can you please tell me if, does it matter? They're like, does it matter? Okay. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe that's part of the thing, right? That it doesn't matter if this is a cis, if this is a female or a male or transgender. It doesn't, that's not the point that matters. The point that matters is that there's a duplicity, that this person was in costume, that obstructed their identity. Now, what I'm getting that I would go out on a little bit of a limb is I keep seeing ever so often, I see a flash of a gold or some sort of name tag, or I would even say name plate, because it feels like it doesn't look plastic. It looks nice, like a really nice, name tag. And I'm wondering if, I don't know. All I can say, you guys, is that I feel like it could really be dress clothes. I don't understand the name tag, but that's what I'm seeing. And it's on their left side here. I don't know if anybody even wears those anymore, but that's what I'm seeing. So I would also be seeing, so this person, let me just see if I can follow this person around, right? Like I'm sort of remote viewing past tense. I'm going back in history, and I'm going to follow this person around. I will tell you that I really feel like this person was dressed as a woman, but perhaps was not a woman, or had a very, very masculine energy about her. I believe this person was trained in the arts, in the spy arts. This person is unknown to, this person's a plant. They're not known. They're not, their real identity, their real purpose is not known. They're undercover, and they're planted, and they're, I'm just going to tell you what I'm getting. I don't know if we're really going to ever know about this, because we know that the government doesn't like, we don't like people to know about our intelligence failures, because it makes us look weak, and then others will try to do it. We never want to look weak. We're never going to tell anybody we had an intelligence failure. The only way anybody's going to find out about it is if it's leaked to the press, or potentially parts of it come out in a court case. But the government is never going to say this happened ever in a million years. I mean, they shouldn't say it, because it's important. So, yeah, this person's a real threat. This person does not have access to the living quarters, to the White House, to the West Wing, whatever area you would associate with President Biden and his family, the office, anything at all. I said she without even, so, take that for what it is. Did not have access to, does not have access. However, the thing that they have access to is not good. There are some external outdoor areas with I'm seeing some plants growing along a walkway. It could be a service entrance. It could be the service entrance that perhaps, and I went on that tirade in the very beginning of this about how Biden should be scrubbing everything, right? Here we are. I must have been saying that for a reason, because here we are now, talking about somebody who shouldn't have access, who needs to be scrubbed, meaning they need to be run through the ringer to really find out who they are. And they have access to this sort of utility part of the White House. Okay. But need I remind you, the utility part is connected to the working part. It's pretty close. And I don't see a real threat as far as, violence or anything like that, but I see a reputational threat. The point here is to continue to create doubt. Number one, it freaks out Biden and his staff, because they know they have a mole, but they can't find it. And then they start looking at their own inner people, which causes distrust among his own inner people. Because what do you mean you don't trust me? I've been with you this whole time. And then that causes some distrust, when in reality, the mole isn't in the inner, the mole is right next door. It's like having your neighbor be the problem, right? So what I would say too is this person just started working there within the last 6 to 8 months. When was Christmas? 7 months ago. basically. Exactly. Right around the holiday. Hired in the middle of this holiday hiring. It's wrong. It just drives me crazy. Anyway, so how did this person get hired? Well, because we still have Trump. We still have people that are truly aligned and have allegiance to Trump still working in places. And this is a problem. You know, I did a video way back when Biden became president and said, there are Trump people all throughout government. All throughout government. I mean, I know this because I actually have clients that worked, under Obama that got fired for no reason, or their boss got fired for no reason. I'm not talking about in the White House. I'm talking about in departments. Their boss got fired for no reason, and a person with no experience, but that was a Trumper, got put in as their boss. And they had to deal with that the whole time Trump was in office. And then on inauguration day, they got fired. The Trumper stayed, but the person who knew how to do the job got fired. So what happened here is you have these heads of departments that are Trumpers that don't know what they're doing, have no experience. I mean, basically, look at Eileen Cannon, look at some of these, look at Kavanaugh. He has no experience. They just put these people in these positions because they're going to rule in the way that the powers that put them there want them to rule. So as a little birthday gift to Biden, now the people that Trump put in has fired all the people that knew how to do the jobs. So when Biden took over, you had these departments that were gutted, that had no institutional intelligence, that had no institutional memory of how this is how it's done, right? So basically made a lot of these departments ineffective. So what I'm trying to say to you is that there's a fox in the hen house, the guides are saying. There's a person that would be in charge of vetting. And there's more than one. There's a couple of people. It couldn't. We have checks and balances, right? You've got a person in charge of hiring, and then you've got maybe a Secret Service or FBI or somebody that needs to go over and make sure that person is clear. Well, all it takes is 2 or 3, and boom, now you've got a pipeline to bring people in that are not trustworthy. Okay, so this is what's happened. Now, the other thing that I saw that I told you guys that they showed me and freaked me out for a minute, and I said I have to come back to it, was I saw another. When I told you all it wasn't a tourist, I saw a tourist. I saw another hand, another arm with another package. So there might be more than one. After the initial one was called in, I guarantee you the Secret Service swept that whole area. And if they found 2 more, it never got called in. I'll promise you that. So the guides just showed me there was another hand, another arm that I saw. But what's weird is that doesn't make any sense. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me because I'm down here in Dante's Inferno, Hell's Front Porch. But anyway, I saw like a gray, either like a sweater or a sweatshirt. I can't tell, but it's a long sleeve. And that's the part that doesn't make any sense. Again, just state the data. Even though it doesn't make any sense to me, maybe they keep it cold in the White House. I don't know. Plenty of workplaces are cold. It's a gray long sleeve, and heck, maybe he wore it. This one is a man for sure, because he's got it's a man, I can tell. There was another package. So this just wasn't one, because they weren't sure that it was going to be found. Now, this isn't in the West Wing. This isn't the guides are showing me there's a real barrier, right? There's a real barrier between the service, whatever that is, and the tours, the public, and the West Wing. Biden has done a good job of vetting anybody that crosses the barrier. Okay, so whoever would be delivering food or cleaning or maintenance, or even doing a tour guide, even someone, this is what I'm saying, it feels like a tour guide. I don't know who would wear a badge. like that, except for somebody that needs to identify themselves in that way. A lot of times, right, we wear lanyards, right, with some sort of things. I don't really understand the badge. Maybe you guys do. So what does that mean? Well, it means that Biden, again, like the guide said in the very beginning, he's going to have to go back. He's going to have to vet. They're showing me that he will create a vetting team that will not be from this pod of people, this group of people. They will be a vetting team of higher, I mean, high, like his own personal aides. I mean, people that he would trust his life with. That's how serious this is to him. He's going to create this team that's a vetting team, and then he's going to go through that whole other half of the White House, you know, like a roto-rooter. He's going to go through and he's going to really pin everybody down, and these people will leave. This one person will leave. And yeah, you know what? So what if they're employed and they're trans? I mean, the Democrats don't care about that, right? So again, could even be that they're employed, and the entire time they're employed, they're literally every day dressing as the other sex and pulling it off because they're spycraft. Thank you. That's the word, spycraft. This is a spy, y'all. This is a plant. This isn't, I don't see this as being a person who went on a tour. I see this as a person who worked their way into this position and fooled people and gained trust, and then was able to do what they needed to do. But you better believe the other things they're doing is they're certainly aware, the guides are showing me, from their vantage point is the word they want to use. From their vantage point, they can hear when the helicopter comes and goes. They can see people coming and going. I mean, they may not be in the West Wing, but they're close enough. They're close enough to do a lot of gathering of information, even things like, because this apparently is very important, what is the mood of the people that work, that serve the food? Is there somebody there that you can, flip, right? Is there somebody that works on the grounds? Is there a security person you can flip, right? Befriend them. So there's a lot of reasons that this is a multiple spearhead op. It's big. It's a big deal. And I really do believe it's Russian. I do believe it's Russian. Okay, I wanted to ask the question, do any Republicans know about this? Like, do any elected official Republicans know about this? Again, this is psychic. Do not trust what I'm saying. Maybe I'm crazy, right? For entertainment purposes only. But I saw Lindsey Graham. But I saw Lindsey Graham only because Lindsey Graham says, you'd be stupid to think there isn't. That was Lindsey's comment to me. He's talking to somebody else, right? He looks at him and he goes, you'd be stupid to think they don't have that place bugged. You'd be stupid to think this wasn't planted. Come on, right? Because Lindsey is really under the foot of the Kremlin in a lot of ways, and various other pressures, whether it's blackmail or whatever it is. I've talked about that before. These people, these mobster type people, send you a text with a photo of you doing something that could maybe get you in jail, or could maybe embarrass you enough, right? Like, or really, the Republicans are beyond being embarrassed and doing something about it. They don't care anymore. They have no shame, literally, but they don't want to go to jail. So, you just get a picture. It's like, oh man, they got me, So that's what Lindsay is saying to this person. Like, he's thinking about his own life and about how no matter where he goes, it seems like there's always somebody taking pictures of him that he has no idea how they get the pictures. It's almost like he's thinking he was in a hotel room, a private hotel room, and yet they have video of him. How did they get that video? Right. So then you start looking at the vents, you start looking at the mirrors. Maybe there's something behind the mirror. And then you start realizing there's a reason they gave you the penthouse. We're going to upgrade you to the penthouse, Mr. Graham. And you just think, yeah, I'm important. No, honey, the penthouse is where they send all the powerful people to film you so that then they can blackmail you. This is pretty well known. Why they keep doing it, I don't know. And then, what they do is they send you a knock on the door. They send you what you're interested in, right? Like whatever that is, whatever kind of, thing you're into. And especially if it's illegal, because that way, boom, they own you. And so that's why Lindsay was saying, come on, y'all. Of course, they've got the White House bugged. The guides are showing me, why do you think that these Congress people and senators need to go into a skiff? Have you ever seen the picture of the skiffs? It's like a metal, it looks like a semi-truck trailer, but it's completely, you can't penetrate it with a listening device. What does that tell you? It tells you that all the buildings are penetrable by listening devices, right? That means that nothing is sacred. They literally had to build a metal, titanium, lead, whatever it is, tube to go in and talk about things that are super top secret, right? So, of course, the White House has been penetrated. So, but I would just leave you with this. Look, Biden is right. This is really and truly seriously true. Do you remember when the Ukrainian war was going to start, and Biden was the one? Biden said, hey, Zelensky, they're going to attack you. And Zelensky was like, I don't think so. Biden's like, they're going to attack you. I'm telling you. And then Biden told the world. Biden is the one that broke that. Go back and ask. Biden is the one that broke it. This is what he started doing. He started telling the intel to the public so that Russia would be held accountable. So, and he's still doing that. Biden is still saying Russia's going to do this, Russia's going to do that. That way, if Russia does it, they're on the hook. It also proves that Biden's intel is smoking hot good. Nobody wants to prove that your intel is so good. So now, Putin can't do it. Right? It's brilliant strategy. But the thing that I would tell you is that Biden is right. That's what they would tell me. I was talking to a friend yesterday and I said, what's weird? I see things that are going to happen. And then just before they're going to happen, something changes. And what is happening there is the energy. I'm following the energy. And then before it can happen, Biden does something to change that. He's literally a half a step ahead. He's a half a step ahead of these Proud Boys, of these militias, of the guy that tried to attack Obama. The guy was caught before. I just want you guys to know Biden's intelligence overall is supreme. It's supreme. The man has got the best intelligence, I think, of any president ever. Period. End of story. He knew he had to. He was coming in after this, crazy, just ludicrous president who sold our state secrets allegedly, who did all these things, right? Who really put us at risk. Biden knew he had to create an inner circle of intelligence people that he could trust and that would keep America safe. And that's why he's kept America safe. That's why we haven't had all these things that a lot of people have seen us having. Biden has been out in front of it. So this is where he kind of got caught off guard. We were telling you, he's kind of looking straight ahead. He's got big plans. He's really, really doing a lot for the country. And he's looking for big attacks, big things. So they're smart. They went down and started nipping at his heels with this little stuff. But it is important. He can't let it go. He will not let it go. He will scrub the White House. He will scrub those people. He will toss those people out. The scrubbing has begun, and they will be out by August. The very last thing, I am a little worried about Hunter. Hunter Biden, his energy doesn't feel good. There's this sense of being hounded. He's being hounded not only by press publicity, he's being hounded by this type of spycraft, planting things on him, pushing him in the wrong way. Like I can see him being pushed off the road. Honestly, guys, there's a lot of Diana energy around him right now, where some car could push him off the road, or hounding. He's just hounded. And I really hope that Biden sends him to a foreign country where they don't speak English, like Japan or something. I really, really hope so, because if he stays here, he's really a target. He's a soft target that they can get to Biden through Hunter, and it's not good. So surround Hunter with light, and please lift him up, lift up Biden, lift up Kamala, lift up their families, lift up everybody that's standing in the light, that's really standing on the side of justice. Give them the light, give them the energy, give them the love. Know we appreciate them. We're in gratitude. And with that, I'm going to sign off. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you get a similar hit, or if you feel like something else is going on. Love to read your comments. Take really, really good care of yourselves, guys. We'll see you again soon. For entertainment purposes only.